After listening to Vedanta, Priya first looked at him with strange eyes. Then she said, "Huh? Which calculation? I didn't take anything from you. Then which calculation do you want to complete?" After listening to him, Vedanta kept looking at him for a while. Then he got up from his chair and started moving towards him slowly. Then he put both his hands on Priya's chair and said, "The calculation of what you have troubled me so much. The calculation of what you have troubled me so much." Saying this, he started bowing towards Priya's face. Priya also bowed towards the back and said, "Yes, so? You also troubled me, right? So, is the calculation complete?" After Priya's words, Vedanta kept looking at him with a sarcastic smile. Vedanta's eyes were fixed on Priya's soft lips. And Priya was trying to keep her hands on Vedanta's chest and keep him away from her. Priya pushed him and said, "I am leaving now. I have to go home early." Saying this, as soon as she was about to leave from the chair, Vedanta grabbed her and pulled her towards him. Due to which Priya fell directly on his chest. He looked at Vedanta angrily and said, "What is it? Now you are troubling me. What about that?" Vedanta said, "So you complete the calculation from me. But first let me complete my incomplete work." Saying this, Vedanta grabbed Priya's hair from behind her head and put his lips on her lips. Due to this action, Priya's eyes grew bigger. And for a while, she froze. Then when she regained consciousness, she started struggling to get herself out of Vedanta's grip. But Vedanta, as if he was tempted to kiss her. To get rid of Vedanta, Priya started hitting his shoulder with her own hand. But Vedanta was not ready to leave him. He shook Priya off the wall and started kissing her with great passion. Now Priya's patience was running out. That's why he bit Vedanta's lower lip hard. Due to which Vedanta had to get away from him. Priya was now taking long breaths and was staring at Vedanta with anger. While Vedanta was enjoying his lips with a mischievous smile. While shouting, Priya said, "You idiot! How dare you kiss me?" Then she cried a little and said, "You wasted my first kiss." Vedanta calmly sat on the chair and said, "No problem. Next time we meet, you kiss me." Hearing Vedanta's words, Priya's tension became high again. She pointed her finger at him and said, "Next time, I will never meet you again. And if you call me again, I will break your head." Saying this, she came out of anger. Laughing, Vedanta said, "Now I will have to meet you, wild cat." Then a notification came on his phone. Seeing this, his face expression became very serious. He called someone and went out of the room after talking for a while. Here, both Mahi and Rohi were in Rohi's room at this time. Then Mahi's phone started ringing. Mahi saw Priya's call. As soon as Mahi received her call, on the other hand, Priya started crying non-stop. Priya cried and said, "Mahi, what happened to me today? I can't tell you." Mahi first looked at her phone in a strange way. And again put it on her ear and said, "Okay, then don't tell me." Hearing Mahi's words, Priya said with a smile, "You are my friend, right? If I tell you that I can't tell you, then you should ask me forcibly, right?" Hearing Priya's words, Mahi said with a smile, "Hey, I was just kidding. Come on, tell me what happened to you today?" As soon as she said this, she turned on the speaker on the phone. Because Rohi was pointing at her again and again. As soon as Mahi arrived, Priya told her all her sad story. Hearing this, Mahi and Rohi were left speechless. Both said together, "What?" Mahi was surprised and said, "Did Vedantaji do all this? With you?" After saying this, the mind said to itself, "Both brothers are the same." Rohi said, "Priya, look, calm down. Let's talk together." Then she put the phone down. Rohi said with a deep breath, "Now Vedant brother is gone." Mahi also said, "Yes, Priya will definitely chew him raw." After dinner, Mahi came to her room. She did not see Ranbir anywhere. By the way, Ranbir had not been seen anywhere since morning. And he was not even on the dinner table. Mahi went and changed her clothes. And came to the bed and lay down. Mahi once thought that she should call Ranvir and ask him, where is he? And when will he come? But then she felt a hesitation. And she stopped thinking about calling. Today, even though it was her second night in this room, but still she felt that room was empty. For a long time, she kept changing her clothes. But finally she fell asleep. At about 2:30 at night, Ranvir came home. When he reached his room, he saw Mahi sleeping peacefully. And smiled at her face. He stroked Mahi's head. And she also started smiling in her sleep. Ranvir kissed her forehead. And went to the washroom. After a while, he changed his clothes and lay down on the bed. And he took Mahi in his arms. The tiredness on Ranvir's face, it came close to Mahi and disappeared. The next day, Mahi woke up in the morning. She found herself in Ranvir's arms. She saw Ranvir sleeping next to her. And smiled at Mahi's face. Because Ranvir was looking very handsome even while sleeping. The hair on his forehead were giving him a charming look. Then Mahi remembered that she has to go for the ritual today. She freed herself from Ranvir's grip. Even in her sleep, Ranvir held Mahi tightly. So Mahi had to work very hard to free herself. Mahi took a shower and wore a beautiful red sari, which Anita ji gave her yesterday. Mahi was standing in front of the mirror. And was drying her long hair. But it was unknown that Ranvir was looking at her for a long time. Ranvir's eyes were opened when Mahi came out of the washroom. Ranvir's sleep was open. Mahi was looking very beautiful in that red sari. Her deep neck blouse, her thin waist, her open long hair, everything was attracting Ranvir. Mahi was trying to tie her blouse string. Then she felt someone's cold fingers on her back. Mahi looked in the mirror. Ranvir was looking at her in the mirror and was tying her blouse string. As soon as Mahi's eyes met Ranvir's eyes, Mahi lowered her eyes with shame. Ranvir kissed her on the neck. And turned her towards him. Mahi tried to free herself and said, Ranvir, we are getting late. Mother asked us to get ready early. And you are making us late. Ranvir was not listening to her. He took Mahi in his arms and laid her on the bed. Mahi tried to stop him. As soon as Mahi was about to say something, Ranvir put his finger on her lips and said, "Shh, don't say anything." Mahi was looking at Ranvir with her big eyes. Ranvir was also in her beautiful eyes. He looked at her and said, "Mahi, do you know how beautiful your eyes are? I forget everything when I see them." Mahi blinked her big eyes at him. Ranvir said, "If you want to say something, say it." Mahi thought, he himself said, "Don't say anything." Ranvir looked at her and said, "Now say something." Mahi said, "I know that my eyes are very beautiful. Many boys in my college also said that. They used to study in my class." Mahi was speaking in her own voice. She continued, "And that day a boy was sitting on my table in the canteen. He also said, and he also wanted to be my friend." Saying this, when Mahi saw Ranvir's face expression, she became silent. Ranvir was staring at him with his small eyes. Mahi asked a little scared, "What happened?" Ranvir asked in the same way, "What is the name of those boys?" Mahi thought and said, "Rohit, Manav, Ajay, Vinay, and I don't remember." Ranvir asked surprised, "Means there are more?" Mahi said, "Yes, but I don't know everyone's name. I will ask their names and tell you." Hearing this, Ranvir said angrily, "There is no need to ask their names and talk to any boy." Mahi insisted and said, "Why? There are many other girls who talk. And anyway, they are all my classmates." Ranvir stared at her with sharp eyes. Mahi shook her head with fear and said, "Okay, I won't talk to any boy." On Mahi's words, Ranvir kissed her on the cheek and said, leaving her, "Good, now get ready or you will be late." Mahi stood up from the bed and saw her sari which was completely open. She looked at Ranbir angrily and said, I wore a sari with so much effort and you ruined everything. Now help me to fix it. Ranbir, who was going towards the washroom, turned around and said to Mahi, my job is to take it off, not to wear it. So if you have to take it off, I can help you in that. Saying this, he looked at Mahi and winked one eye and turned around and went to the washroom. While Mahi opened her eyes and saw him leaving and said, he is so shameless. He doesn't even think before speaking. Then she started fixing her sari again. After a while, Mahi, Ranbir and the rest of the family went for the pakfera. In Mahi's house, everyone welcomed Mahi's in-laws. Today, the splendor of their house was becoming visible. While Gangadhar was very happy to see his daughter happy. Just like this, his whole day passed. And Mahi and the rest of the family returned to Kapoor mansion. Ranbir left Mahi's mansion and left for some important work. Actually, when Ranbir was having lunch with everyone at Mahi's house, he got a notification on his phone that his face had become serious. Mahi also noticed this. But she didn't ask anything in front of everyone. Mahi came to her room and changed and lay down on the bed. And started thinking about Ranbir. Then she told herself that maybe there is something related to business. It was 11 o'clock at night. But Ranbir had not come yet. Now Mahi was also worried that what could be related to business. She took her phone and dialed Ranbir's number. But before going to the ring, she also disconnected. What will be Priya's reaction when she finds out that Mahi had given her number to Vedant? Whose message made Ranbir's face expression become serious? To know more, keep listening to Oh Baby only on Love Pulse Diaries.